Well, hello and greetings everyone. We are inside today because it is so cold outside. Like, my feet are frozen. Anyways, today's topic is anything that you resist will persist. And what's interesting is that I've been thinking about doing this topic for the past 2 days. And in those 2 days, I've noticed on my timeline on Instagram and even a couple of people on my YouTube talking about doing binding spells on bullies and people that are not being nice to them, I guess. These people are putting their willpower into doing binding spells and to put people in jars and shit. Listen here. To each its own, you can do what you want to do. But all I'm saying is that anything you resist will persist. Anything that you focus your energy on in your life, good or bad, will persist. If you're doing spells on people because they're not being nice to you, you're putting energy into that thing, creating situations where more people will be doing it to you. So, what I'm saying is, we have an inner light, an inner fire, that when amplified, it creates a fortification bubble around us. This is what I call it. It's kind of like a dome, an energy dome, where nothing can get inside of it unless we give it permission. But we have to have enough inner power within us to deflect and ward off any negative energies. This is proactive. So, example me, let me make sure my ears are straight. I've had people try to send ill will and dark energy towards me before. I've gotten to a point in my life where it's like any energy that is sent towards me, negative energy, I can do one or two things with it. One, I can use it as fuel to gas my bubble, make it bigger. Two, it'll bounce back off like a boomerang and be sent right back to you. So all I'm saying is that I promote this type of defense mechanism, or whatever you want to call it. I will promote this over putting people in jars anyways, because I just know the law of attraction. You're attracting energies that you're putting out. I was just talking about this too, the rising sun, the divine solar child reborn. This is talking about our inner fire being born and risen up within us. It's almost like a child because we have to learn how to tame it. It's our willpower. We have to know to use our will for the right thing. So we also know that people, like most of the people who try to send out low frequency energy or ill will towards you, they're kind of like children. So it's like, if you're walking down the street and there's a bunch of children playing with a ball or something, and they throw the ball at you and hit you and think it's funny, like, are you going to put the child in the jar? This is what it's like when I imagine people putting these, encouraging people to do this. And, whatever you do in your personal life is cool. But when you're promoting, telling other people to do the same thing, I just really don't think it's that righteous. Because again, I look at people who do that kind of like children, and I just have this mentality that if your inner light is so bright, if you're the sun, if you try to send some dark energy at the sun, it's getting burnt up and transformed. We have to become like the sun, where we are so bright and so vibrant that nothing can penetrate our circle unless we allow it. And if something does get through, the damage is so minute that it's not really affecting us that much. What I'm saying is that when you put your willpower into this spell saying, make this person stop messing with me, it's like you're kind of encouraging more of it. So this is where I'm at with that. It's like, okay, I just think it's so important, again, with this rising sun, I think it's important. The overall message today is rising up our chi, rising up our life force energy, rising up our manifestation skills. The reason why so many people can't manifest is because they don't have enough power. They don't have enough life force energy. Their inner sun isn't shining bright. The reason why there's people fucking with you, you got a lot of resistance coming your way, you got a lot of dark energy and bad luck coming your way, you got to build up your sun. So you already have a low example. Let me not even say you, because I'm not just talking to you guys, I'm talking to me too. If we have our energy meter and our chi is at like 30%, and we just use 25% to put one person in a jar to do a spell, then it's like we got like 5% left, and we got to use that to put the rest of the people that are going to be sending shit at us. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's more of a defense mechanism where we're not really making a solution to the problem. It's just temporary, because first of all, you don't know what type of energy that person has on their side. It can just reverse and still come back at you. So the point is, worry about yourself. Worry about how you react to the situation. Worry about building up your inner light. That way, as if anyone in the future ever tried to do anything to you, you set. And another thing is, we need to make sure that we're connected to our ancestors. We all have ancestors that live within us. They also manifest on the outward, but we have ancestors and guidance. They live inside of us, and they're here to serve us for our highest good, for our best possible outcome that we can have in life. And once we build up our inner fire, and we have a will to want to listen to the messages that they are giving us and the guidance that they are giving us, then certain resistance can't even come at you, bro. Do you get what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, resistance is friendly. Resistance is like, what's the saying that I use? Well, actually, it's a bar from Ezel Dash. He goes, resistance is friendly, a ladder waiting on victory for the taking. Meaning, when resistance is here, it's giving you an opportunity to climb up the ladder and prove to yourself that you are going to surpass and overcome. But if you fall victim to the resistance and try to hit them with the same energy that that they're trying to give to you, you're not really overcoming. You're doing this unnecessary back and forth that's not even needed, because when you here, you ain't got time to be doing this with people down here. Because first of all, they don't know what they're talking about, and they don't know what's already coming back to them. We don't want to build up energy that we don't want more of. So, moral of the whole story, and I keep coming back to it, and I'm so glad that this card came out first. Build up your inner sun. Build up your inner light and your inner fire, because there are certain entities where, hold on, ancient power mysteries. Hear the rattle of Isis play. This is the sound. The rattle represents the sound. The snake is our kundalini, our chi, our DNA. When you hear the rattle, you hear your ancestors and you hear the guides speaking to you. So you'll know what's right and you'll know what's wrong. You'll know what to do in certain situations. So it's like, not just rise up your inner light just to rise it up, because you rise it up and then it's like, what are you feeding, or who's feeding off of it? You get what I'm saying? Rise it up and then listen to your inner voice to know what to do with that energy. Anyways, like I was saying, there are certain entities that you shine so bright and you are so vibrant that they can't even touch you, because it's almost like the sun. Like, you can't even stare at the sun for too long because it's so bright and it's so vibrant and it's so powerful. We have to become like the sun, where it's like we're shining so bright, we're so vibrant, we're illuminated, that certain people and certain energies can't even fuck with us. They can dream about it, but they can't. And if they do, whatever happens to them is on them. Let's just say that. But yes, I'm all about, I know what dark energy is, and I know what be responsible. It's funny, Daughter of Pentacles. Be responsible with your energy, with your power. We all have magic, but it's like, what are you using your magic for? Bro, you cannot catch me using my magic to put somebody in a jar binding. Like, you know what? The chick who tried to do dark magic on me, like, I literally used that as a teaching experience for her. We ended up being cordial afterwards, because I kind of let her know, like, don't you ever do that again, with love. Like, and know that if you're coming from a place of love, friendship, joy, know that if you're coming out from a place of love, because at the end of the day, we all are reflections, no matter what level you on. If you're coming from a place of unconditional love for yourself, then certain energies can't touch you. It's not being a pussy. It's not being passive. And at the end of the day, know that we are all love and light and happy. Because if you fuck with me, or if certain energies fuck with you and your light is powerful, you have the power to yield your sword how you will. But just know that however you willed it will come back to you. So again, I use that situation as a learning opportunity. I noticed that her spirit was like a child, and first of all, she wasn't even 100% aware that what she was doing and how it was going to come back at her. But I had to let her know, I'm not going to put you in a jar. I'm not going to slay your head off this time, because I know that the reason that this happened to me right now, being that I am a teacher, is because I'm supposed to teach you something, and I'm supposed to share some insights with you. So be more compassionate with resistant energy, because the way that you respond to it and way that you overcome will only build up your power. If you come back with resistance, like you respond to resistance out of love, confidence, not even just confidence, but Godfidence, and knowing who you are and what you are and who you stand for, it won't persist, because you responded in a way that was out of power, that was out of self-respect, that was out of self-love for yourself and humanity. Because look, in the end, I mentioned it before, I'm gonna say it again, they're like children. People who do bad stuff to you or try to send negative energy at you, they're like kids, and they don't even know. Try to look at it like that. They don't even know. Most of these tricksters' energies in the spirit realm, like, they don't know. They really don't know. So we have to teach them. Especially if you are a high priestess, a queen, a goddess. We ain't got time to be hexing nobody and doing all of that, because to me it kind of comes from this like, I'm not even gonna go there, because I know there's a lot of people on the time gonna be like, this chick. But anyways, you're powerful, and when your inner light is built up, it's literally impossible for certain energies to hit you at a certain might. They can try, and you'll notice when there's people trying, the way that it happens with me is like toothaches, earaches, or like mood swings. But it's minute, but enough for me to notice, like, oh, okay, so there's some shit going on. So I just have to nip it in the bud. I have to literally amp up myself. I have to be more mindful. All right, let me make sure my diet's right. Let me make sure I'm exercising, moving my body. Let me make sure that I'm connected to my ancestors so I can hear what I need to be doing from God, whatever you want to call it. Because in the end, you'll realize that you never need to play the same game that they're playing, unless you like to play like that. You know, some of us just like to play like that. To which I'm like, it's cool. It doesn't make you good. It doesn't make you bad. I'm just talking about what I do and the results of what I do and how empowered I feel afterwards. Being that I didn't take that time to do a binding spell on you or do some type of hexing or whatever on you, I kept my willpower and I was able to use it to manifest what I'm doing, to create more of the situation that I want. I didn't give it more energy, because a lot of the times it presents itself, situations like that present themselves just to see what you're gonna do. A lot of the time you may even think that somebody is doing some shit to you and they're not. A lot of the time it's in your mind. You're creating situations out of, because you want to feel like you're in control of something. And I even talked about that in my last video. It's like, why you want to be so in control of everything? Which we do have control to a certain extent. We control our reactions. We control the way that we react to situations that present themselves to us. And the way that we react determine the level that we get to reach. Get what I'm saying? It's like a hierarchy within ourselves. We all have, like the Kabbalah and the Tree of Life. I'm actually working on a painting right now. But it determines our destiny, what role we're going to take next, depending on how we respond to situations that happen to us. So in the end, In the end, I choose victory. In the end, I choose peace of mind. In the end, I choose righteousness. In the end, I choose to contain my energy in my chariot, in my MerKaBa, in my life force, in my life force. I choose to build it up and wield it how I will. I'm not going to give somebody else the power to have some of my life force energy because they wanted to try to do some mantras against me to slow me down. Because in the end, it's going to be like the joke's on you, really. So this video is kind of quick compared to my other ones. But I just wanted to make sure that I get that out, letting people know when you're building up your inner light, don't build it up just to build it up just so you'll have a lot of light. Make sure that the energies that are surrounded within you and the people who are around you, make sure you're not surrounded by parasites and leeches. Some people don't have as much keep your integrity. Make sure the people that are around you are all about that integrity and using their power for good. Because if you building up your inner light, but you're surrounded by a bunch of like leeches and vampires, you feeding them. You're a generator for other people around you. But then when you need to actually use your power to make some shit happen, you're running low. So raise it up intentionally and mindfully. And don't be using your power against shit that don't even deserve your energy. Like sometimes I'll be like, I'm gonna let that go. Like it really ain't her eye ever open. Like I can see it. I know. I can tell people's intentions when they're speaking over me, speaking to me. That's another thing. This is me, the guru mother. Be mindful of who you're letting speak over your life, and be mindful of who's doing tarot and oracle readings for you, because you don't know that person's life. You don't know what they do when you're not there, and you don't know who their ancestors are. Now, all I'm saying is that just because people say that they connect with spirit guides don't mean that they're benevolent, and don't mean that they're coming out of a place of unconditional love, because I'm gonna just leave it at that. Be mindful of who you let speak over them, and make sure that they're using their higher will and they're not coming from this victim mentality. And if they're promoting sending out negative energy to other people instead of transmuting that to work for your rise, that's just something that you want to be mindful for. What they do in their life is cool. I'm not saying that any of these people are good or bad, because depending on your perspective of it, it could be subjective. But I'm talking about you and taking ownership of your power, because you are sovereign ruler of your being. Know that nobody can send energy at you that you don't want to accept. Nobody can take your energy if you don't allow them. And if you notice that you're in a situation where you're surrounded by some type of parasites or vampires, withdraw yourself. You have the power to withdraw yourself and not worry about, oh, but they're going to do this to me. They're going to do this to me. If you think that they're going to do something to you, you have the power. You're giving them the power to know that they can. If you got the mentality, fuck that, man. Can't nobody send nothing at me unless I allow it. Because I am sovereign ruler over my being and my reality. And whatever I want to make happen will happen. And whatever does end up happening in the end is for my greatest good and for my rise. I'm going to transmute all that energy to work for my rise. I'm going to pull one more from the Isis Oracle deck. Serious people, take back your energy, take back your light. The interesting thing. So we had Rising Child, right? At the beginning, as the first open your card. And then we have Divine Sun Child, Blessings of the Sun Falcon as the closer. And all in all, it's saying this. You are the sun. You have the power of the sun. And that's your chariot, your inner chariot. When you build up your inner light, your inner power, your manifestations become stronger. Resistance in your life. This is the thing about resistance. The more you build it out, you will get, resistance. Things, energy, people who try to slow you down. They'll try to slow you down with your words, their words. They'll try to slow you down, making you not believe as much in yourself. People who don't believe in you, who don't uplift love, who don't uplift building up their inner light. People who don't promote you to self-heal first. They're always recommending, oh, go to this oracle reader, go to this tarot reader. This is the thing. I do oracle readings, I do tarot readings, and any of you who want one from me, I will probably do it for you. But know that you don't need me, and you don't need anyone else to tell you your destiny. Because at the end of the day, you are in control of your own destiny. Once you're in control of your own chi, your own inner light. What type of energy, what type of messages are you feeding your inner light? Are you diligently trying to build it up? Because when it comes time where you got a tough decision to make, you're the only one who knows the answer of it. Rebirth your inner light. Be mindful. Protect yourself. Protect yourself, because when you're building up your inner light, know that there are going to be people who don't have, as much light as you, who need to eat, who need to feed. But make your light so bright that they can't even come at you, bro. They can only see it from the distance. Sometimes you'll look at the sun, you'll know it's there, but you're not looking directly at it. It's so bright, bro. Sis. Build it up and know that you have the power.